Despite feeling like video games have existed since the dawn of time, they're honestly really new in the grand scheme of things. Arcades have existed since the 70s, and after that, the boom of home consoles eventually put those 6 feet under. It's honestly amazing how fast the industry has gone. The first video game system, probably, of all time, the Magnavox Odyssey, which released in 1971, looked like this. This wasn't even that long ago. Most of your parents are probably older than this thing. I'm sorry to any parents watching. And 8 years after the Pong machine came the Intellivision. Games have gone a long way from when the industry became commercially available and feasible. People played with number pads at one point. The 70s really were the dark ages.
The police are coming.
Yet for the time, this was the fad. You had Congo Bongo, you had Q*bert, you had all these new games being developed. Then Atari comes in with the Atari 2600, which had released a year earlier and says, "Oh no, this is my turf, man." And they start duking it out. Atari hits them with the simplified and iconic joystick controller. Intellivision fights back with Congo Bongo. Now you gotta realize this generation showed the growing pains of video games. Companies were trying to understand what to do and how to do it with home systems, since the previous generation was dominated by the arcade market. And their marketing for games on each platform were pretty piss poor critically to both systems' success. Both these systems had their own revolutions, and people loved them. But then comes Nintendo, who's bored with running sex hotels, making fake toy guns, and playing around with LCD screens for the past 50-odd years, and says, "Now I want part of the pie." Bam, the NES rocks the market, putting Nintendo on top. Now Sega over here, who's been skulking in the darkness with the SG-1001 and 2 and the Master System. 1991, Nintendo releases the Super Entertainment System, but Sega is back with a vengeance. The Sega Genesis. Sega overthrows Nintendo's dominance on the market. By now, Atari are like the weird kids at recess playing with dirt in the corner of the playground with their Atari Lynx over there, getting sponsored by Marlboro. What the fuck? Oh, and Mattel's dead. Now both consoles are doing really well, but all of a sudden, a knock on the door. Swoosh! The door slams open, Sony walks in. "Hey Nintendo, remember when we were going to collaborate to make a CD-ROM for the Super Famicom and you left us dry? Well, here's the PlayStation." This isn't a joke, by the way. The PlayStation was basically put into fruition by nothing other than pure spite. And this thing did really well. Terrifyingly well. 1995, Nintendo's representative walks up on a stage at E3. Virtual Boy. Oh, shit, I mean, Nintendo 64. Sega's sitting in the corner, dried up like a raisin with the Sega Saturn. "You guys like Clockwork Knight?" 1999, Sony goes, "It's better than PlayStation?" PlayStation 2. Instant commercial success, landsliding the video game market in its generation for the second time in a row. By now, Sega's at the sidelines with the defibrillator on the Dreamcast, but it's too late. Sega will fall out of the console market and focus on being purely a software developer. 2001. Microsoft enters the console market with the Xbox. But why would anyone buy the Xbox? Well, for one, here's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on stage with it. Oh, and there's also Halo. And oh no, there really is just Halo. The same year, the GameCube comes out to an astonishing Despite having good games, the system flops because it couldn't play Shrek on DVD. 2006 rolls around, the Wii comes out, and it's the greatest thing since toilet paper. Its grip on the casual market makes it sell insanely well. Meanwhile, the Xbox 360 is spazzing out in the corner while red-ringing. The PS3 is effectively dead until it wasn't. So, how have things become now? Well, the Nintendo Switch is now worth more than gold. The PS4 is steadily once again one of the most popular consoles of this generation, and the Xbox One is effectively a really good coaster for your cups. However, things are looking good for the future. Microsoft's new Smart Fridge and Sony's new PS5 are right around the corner, and neither seem to astronomically have fucked things up for themselves so far. No stupid required hardware, no sloppy game rollout, and with Bethesda now owned by Microsoft, Xbox might actually have some good exclusives. Or it might be buried alongside Rare. Who knows? However, almost 50 years later, do you know what's coming out? The Intellivision Amico and a new Atari system! The cycle continues! The beginning is the end! Nintendo Entertainment System 2, baby! Let's make it happen!